Well, Willy here to tell you what it would look like if Michael Singer and Eckhart Tolle had a baby. It'd look like me. Woo! No, it looked like Buddhism, actually. But anyways, here let's get into it. Let's explain it. I'm drinking a yerba mate this morning. Love it. Love my drinks. All right, so the spiritual path is all about moving from identification with form, being me, this body, this mind, this body-mind complex, who I think I am, to moving to identification with conscious awareness. Okay? So in order to initiate this journey, or begin this journey, or take steps on this journey, you have to contemplate what you are. The first dimension in which most of us do that is in our head. We put ourselves in these situations where we're supposed to, like, meditate. Like the first time you meditate, right? Go meditate. I can't meditate. I just think. You mention meditation to somebody and they say, my mind is so busy. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. I lay awake all night thinking. All right, there you go. Your first insight about yourself. Or you, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this race. I'm going to train. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to go run. I'm going to get in this race. And you get into mile 1, you get into mile 2, you get into 3 miles. Oh my gosh, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this. Who doesn't want to do this anymore? What? You signed up, you're doing it. Right? We got to start examining who this I is that always is coming up in our head. Oh, this person said this to me. Oh, this person said that to me. Well, that was gone. That is gone, and this is now. Oh, there we go. We get to the present moment, right? So we start to see that on this road, from identification with form to identification with consciousness, there's kind of two things at play here. There's the present moment, and then there's self-contemplation, okay? When we begin, or when we start, or when we get to certain stages with contemplating ourselves, at first, the great I is the constant. We're always dealing with this I. He's bothering us. Somebody insults this I. This I didn't get what he wanted. This I put himself into a situation that he decided later he didn't want to be in. And then that I becomes a victim. You see, the I is the big problem for a great part of the spiritual journey. But if you continue to self-examine and contemplate what I am, what is this I? Who am I? What is this hand? Like, am I my hand? What happens if I lose, like, a tooth? Was that tooth me? What happens if I lose the hand? Was that hand me? I mean, it's like you start thinking about this stuff and looking at this stuff, and then eventually you get to a point on the spiritual journey where you realize there is no I. There is no such thing as an I. And that's maybe the balance point. You've hit the balance point where identification with the I has become equal with conscious awareness. You are consciously aware that the I is false. And then at that point, the scales begin to tip. And they begin to tip towards identification with conscious awareness, where we start to see that the I is just a thought form, or the I is just a memory, or the I is just an imagination based off of a memory. And we start to see that thought forms, memories, imaginations, everything that the mind produces has an effect on the body. And everything that the body feels has an effect on the mind. So we start to see that there's an entire energetic process. There's a force behind this process, right? But we start to see it. We start to become consciously aware of the expressions of mind and expressions of body. We start to see what it is. So, in addition to this all taking place in the present moment, like you can't examine, you can examine like what you did, like, and the way you were in the past, but you're examining it in the present moment. You're always examining yourself in the present moment. When you come into the present moment, you're entering real life, basically. Say, oh, I had a thought. Oh, my thought said this. Oh, there's that I again. Oh, I feel bad. Oh, I feel like I want to eat a whole bag of Doritos, right? Like in this moment. Like that's when we enter into reality. And when you join that with self-reflection, that's the second aspect. That's the second ingredient of the spiritual journey, right? But once we get past this balance point where we see that there is no I, and we see that the I is only a manifestation of the body-mind complex based on memories and force, right, of experience, then we start to see there's a third additional ingredient which influences and enhances the spiritual journey. And that is, I need to bring up all of this junk, all of this memory, all of the expressions that I've accumulated over the course of my life, all of the traumas, all of everything. I need to bring it all up, and I need to see it all from a conscious perspective, right? And that's what really tips the identification with conscious awareness, boom, all the way over to that end of the spectrum, is being able to have all of that stuff come up. So then we've already established that you need self-examination. You need to be, asking, reflecting upon who you are, inquiring upon the existence of this I. Who am I? What am I? You need to continually examine in the present moment until you get to the place where you start to see that this is stuff that's just coming up out of me. And then you continue even further when you realize I need to get all of it out of me, because all of it really it's your karma. It's karma. And if you want to clear the karma, if you want to clear the negative energy, you have to get it all out of you, and it has to come up onto the surface, and it has to be seen for what it is, and it has to be let go of, right? So this creates creates a new dilemma for this third ingredient. It's like, how do we do that? Well, there's kind of like 3 different ways you can do that from what I've gathered. And unless you're going to go be a monk or a nun and go seclude yourself away in a monastery and just meditate all day and deny yourself of everything except for the sole purpose and intent of examining yourself, then there's really only 2 ways, right? And the 2 ways are basically you embrace things that come into your life, because I don't know how it works, because of God, basically. Life will bring you things that will bring up the stuff, and you surrender to it. Or you intentionally choose to do things that are hard and see them through to the end. See? So those are really the three kind of main ways in which we proceed along the spiritual journey to become identified with conscious awareness and reside in pure conscious awareness. So if you take presence from Eckhart Tolle and you mix it with this idea of surrender, that's Michael Singer's Surrender to Life, then you got, boom, Willy boy over here saying that, you know what, or do both, choose a third to do hard things and see them through to the end, right? So those are your choices. Okay, anyways, hope you enjoyed out there in Willy's world, in the internet land or wherever. Until next time, I will see you again.